leadership styles and styles of followers. An example of all of the types of styles, or most of the types of styles, can be seen in the movie Crimson Tide. The movie Crimson Tide is about two commanding officers in the U.S. Navy, Captain Ramsey and Lieutenant Commander Hunt, who have to have very different styles of leadership and have to try and work together in order to prevent a future war, since in a submarine, and about how they try to work together. So in this briefing, I'll be talking about the different leadership styles of Captain Ramsey and Lieutenant Commander Hunt and giving examples of both. I'll also be talking about which style I personally would want to emulate in my life, and then also finally I'll be talking about an example of a scene which has follows in it, what styles they're using to follow, and also the kind of leadership they're following. So, first off, Captain Ramsey, I think, is a assertive leader. There's no doubt in my mind about it. He just thinks he's the boss and can basically do whatever. He says he gets his commands from higher up, people who are not on the submarine, but there's even a quote on it that says he gets orders from higher up and then he just kind of goes with it. And several samples can be seen in it. He doesn't really ask people about the decisions on the boat. An example is when he's running a drill in a dangerous situation. He doesn't talk to anyone about it, including the Lieutenant Commander Hunt, who's supposed to have a say in it along with him. He just decides to run it without anyone knowing and without thinking about, hey, is it safe or not? He just says, I feel like it's going to help, so I'm going to do it. And that for me is a example of assertive leader. Another example of him being an assertive leader is in the main climax of the film. And that's when a message or partial message was sent to the submarine to launch a nuclear weapon. Now, it was a partial message, so they had no authority to actually send it because they didn't know if they said to cancel it or what. It was cut off before they had it said to launch or not to launch. And Captain Ramsey really wanted to launch it and said, it says law, which was what it said. He's like, well, that must mean to launch missiles. And even when Lieutenant Commander Hunt tried to tell him that that's not what, to wait, and that they should wait a few minutes and see, or wait and let another submarine take care of it, he would not listen. In fact, he goes so far to try and have Lieutenant Commander Hunt to take an off the ship, and that's a example of a sort of leader to me because he would not let anyone have to say. He goes so far to have someone try to be taken off his ship or taken to a place where they can question him. That's definitely a sort of leadership, in my opinion, because he doesn't want anyone to have a say. Now, there's an example in these movies that might be participative leader in him and shown for him, and that's when he's talking about is doing a drill and he's asking others if they concur with the message. Now that might be participative leaders. I could see where some people could say that is, but I think for the most part it's definitely a more assertive leader kind of style. Next up we have Lieutenant Commander Hunt. I think he's a mix of assertive and laissez-faire leader. A laissez-faire leader has no discussion and they are kind of an absent leader. I would say he has no discussion in some of the parts, and he's definitely not really absent. My thing with that is in the beginning of the movie he doesn't really go against Captain Ramsey. He's just like, if he's questioning his orders, he's just like, oh, I'm just to roll with it. But I think he's definitely more of like in that scene, in the beginning scene, such as the missile scene, he's definitely a laissez-faire kind of leader as he doesn't question Captain Ramsey outright. But I think once we get to the scene where the nuclear weapon is kind of launched, he definitely tends to be more assertive. But maybe even participative, but he knows how to show authority, but he's kind and nice about it. He's not like just telling someone what to do. He's more kind and gentle about it, and even sometimes he asks for opinions. So I would say he's more of a mix of both. But he definitely is authoritative when he tried in the fight with the nuclear launch. He commands people to take Captain Ramsey away too. I would say I would want to emulate kind of more Lieutenant Commander Hunt because he's kind of more nice about it. And there's certain times when I would want when you have to be assertive, but I feel like Captain Ramsey is just not really nice in the movies that much. And he's kind of just always kind of authoritative. And I kind of like how Lieutenant Commander Hunt was more thoughtful and slow and really thought about it before rushing in and doing it. So I would want to emulate him if possible. I would say the follows are kind of just the follows are more participate are more comedies, and that means they do tasks and they follow orders. This is seen a lot of times in the movie, such as the drills. They just do orders. They don't question it. They just do it and they follow orders. And they're following it. Captain Ramsey's authoritative kind of leadership. And I think that's what they're supposed to do because it is the military. You kind of have to listen to your commanding officer mostly. The part where I say they might change a little bit is when the split between people who are loyal to Captain Ramsey and people who are loyal to Lieutenant Commander Hunt. And I think it splits you into maybe more of an independent kind of leader. They're kind of more thinking about themselves because they don't really know who to follow because it's never happened before this situation. So they're having to figure out who to follow and which leader to follow. And I think they're really in that place trying to be more independent, thinking for themselves. They're still doing the tasks, but they're really thinking about who to follow and what they should do. So, in conclusion, I think Captain Ramsey shows assertive leadership, and Lieutenant Commander Hunt shows a mix of assertive and laissez-faire, but the and the followers are more comedies and then tones to independent. But overall, I think this movie has a bunch of different ways to show leadership and kinds and follows of styles and has good ways to think about how to do what to do in certain situations as a leader and a follower.